welcome to Monday morning, and today we're going to be using all that work we did last week, building up practicing our descriptive sentences and being introduced to lots of new vocabulary and thinking about all of our senses. We're going to be putting all of that together into our own version of the description of the Fire Fiend's grotto. So, because we don't want our description to sound like she could see, she could feel, we want it to be interesting. I've just got some fronted adverbials here on the screen in front of you, just to get you warmed up. Now remember, adverbials tell us how, where, when something happened. So we can use those to make our sentences much more interesting, and they always have a comma after the end of the fronted adverbial and before the rest of the sentence starts. So we've got here at the entrance, comma, along the walls, beneath her feet, in the middle of the ... with a menacing roar. So can you please verbally finish off those sentences? And if you want to, have a go at writing them down, because you might be able to use those in your work today too. So at the entrance, how could you finish that sentence? Is there a sound? Is there something you can see? Is there something you can smell? So for example, it could be at the entrance, the acrid smell of smoke billowed out into the fresh air. Okay, maybe along the walls, comma, water was trickling in small streams. Beneath her feet, the ground shook and trembled. You get the idea. So have a go. Come up with the best sentences you can. So pause your video now and we'll come back together in a moment. Okay, hopefully you got on really well with that. Now remember I said today we were actually going to be combining all of that work we've been doing and writing our own description of the Grotto of the Fire Fiend in our own words. So on the screen here in front of you, you should be able to see my example of my description of the Grotto of the Fire Fiend. So what we're going to do is I'd like you to just pause the screen, pause the video now and have a little read of that to yourself. Things I'd like you to notice as you're going through is, can you spot any of the words that we were using on Friday? Okay, so for example, I can see one down here, malignant. That was one of the words we looked at on Friday. Can you find, how many different ways can you find that the sentences are started? Okay, so can you find at least 4 different ways the sentences are started? Okay, so this one, for example, starts with once. Then they've used however. Look at all the sentence starts. So 2 things to be doing while you are reading. Looking for some of the vocabulary that we were looking at last week, some of those new words we were introduced to. Look at the ways the sentences has started. Okay, so just have a little read of that. That's our model text. So let's do that now. Okay, now you've had a read of that, hopefully you will have noticed some great phrases there to use. So I'm just going to draw your attention to some of the vocabulary. Okay, so we've got that malignant, we've got raw, we've got radiance and scorching, we've got molten lava, we've got devour, eyes ablaze, loads of really lovely language that again you can magpie. So get your work out from last week, have it in front of you while you're doing this, use it to help you. Okay, so you may have noticed that this text kind of follows a set structure. So we start at the entrance and then we are moving into the main cavern and then describing what's there. So your work today is going to follow that same structure. Okay, so you're going to be writing 3 short paragraphs. In paragraph 1, you are going to be describing the entrance of the grotto. Okay, so think about what you can be seen and heard when you first enter the cavern. Okay, so look back at those lists that you made. On Thursday and Friday, have that vocabulary there. Think about the fronted adverbials we've just used. Think about the subordinate and coordinating conjunctions we've been using. How can you get those in there? Once you've had a go at that, you're going to look at paragraph 2, and you're going to be describing the appearance of the fire imps. So when the fire imps turn up, what are they doing? What noises are they making, and how does that change? Again, a little reminder, use lots of the words we looked at from last week. And then your last paragraph in that description is going to describe the appearance of Razvani, the fire fiend. What does he look like? And what do the imps do when Razvani appears? Okay, so that structure there. Paragraph 1, the entrance to the cave. Paragraph 2, you're going to be thinking about the fire imps. Paragraph 3, you're going to be thinking about the appearance of Razvani, the fire fiend. So on to piece of work with 3 paragraphs. We are looking for some great descriptive language. There's no excuse. We've been looking at loads of it. So have those vocabulary lists in front of you. Think about having your I saw a Wabub and your Fanboys posters that you made yourself in front of you. Use all of that work that we've been doing.